Good morning. It's Swingin' Saturday, and it's Trey coming at you with some Trey talk. Yo, okay, before we get started, I just need to set sacred space. I'm going to take a breath. I'm an internationally known medicine woman. I practice all kinds of modalities, and in this moment, I'm creating sacred space because I really, really, really desire for all of our benevolent sisters to come forward at this time. Wait, let me draw a circle thrice about and declare the space and time sacred. I'm using my thing. I ask now that all of our benevolent sisters come forward to assist at this time. And we ask that this serves the highest and greatest good for the everyone involved. I put my little candle over here. I have my little sage. So I'm going to be burning some sage to clear the space. And I ask that all energies being released be captured through this lovely little energetic drain, all held within the circle. We're clearing the space and declaring it sacred. We ask now that this reach go far and wide so that we can provide lots and lots of funds for the amazing, amazing, autistic, beautiful, beautiful children that are out there needing assistance. Because, yo, how many of you guys have a hard time changing your job, moving from your house? And we're like normal. When you're autistic, oh my gosh, it's like you have such high thinking, but an inability to really communicate it. And they have a heightened nervous system. And I totally understand because after I was paralyzed, yo, man, my bottom half is always on fire because so what happened was my disc bulged between L3 and L4, and um it bulged and it completely cut off my spinal cord, and the hospital didn't recognize it for 2 days. They left me like that, and finally they did an MRI and then found that yes, there was a problem, so then they needed to do emergency surgery. And they told me I wouldn't walk again without assistance, but I gave them a double back flip, and I said I don't like that. And to this day, like now, that was in 2010. I'm up and walking and living my best life. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to be tapping in here on live. I'm going to be co-moderating with some people on Clubhouse. So if you want to drop in on Clubhouse, just look for the title "Help Autism Families Affected by the War in Ukraine," and we'll be getting ready to, uh, I'm waiting for them to go live, but I just definitely wanted to come on and introduce myself. Hi, I'm Trey, coming at you with some Trey talk. I am an internationally known medicine woman. I'm an alternative health specialist. I help people. Yo, most people don't realize that what they're experiencing is anxiety. They call it all kinds of other things, overstimulated. Oh, my thoughts, overthinking. Oh, I'm so emotional. But to me, it all stems from the same root cause. And well, actually, it could, the root could lie in your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, your spiritual body. Is your spiritual body's always trying to raise the awareness. So that's how you get the disease. That's how, even so, acne, it comes from a disease. If you have foot fungus, it's from your thoughts and emotions that are stuck in there. So it is something that we're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? I don't know what happened to the room. Okay, so you guys gotta give me a second here. I'm trying to click back on to find out what happened to the room. We're wanting to get on, get on, get on in Clubhouse. We all love the Clubhouse scene. Come on. There it goes. All right, room in progress. Woo, woo.
Joining this, please introduce yourself. Hello, thank you so much. My name is Amanda Alonso. I am a raising a son with autism. I'm a psychotherapist. I have my own private practice here in California, Southern California. It's morning here for us, so good morning, everybody. And yeah, I'm so honored to be a part of this group, being able to speak and hopefully help autism families affected by the war in Ukraine. Amen. In any case, that's what we're trying to do, and as long as we are all trying, I'm gonna pay now very soon the donation link. There's no donation, small or big. I think I'd like to Sherelle. Good
There we
morning, my
go.
beautiful Sherelle. Thank you for always supporting us. My lady hustler, please introduce yourself.
Hey, good day, everyone. Good day, good day. Glad to see all of you all. My name is Sherelle, and I am a mom of five children, full time wheelchair user and special needs family here. And I am so excited to support this amazing project and looking forward to the great conversations and amazing impact that is be done with the beautiful,
Okay,
beautiful
I'm gonna
families
hand clap.
over there in Ukraine. So definitely excited to be here and definitely loving each and every one of you that decide to join in to support Mishka and the Lady Husband as we push forward her mission to love and care for all of our families, especially with those with autism. Miss Sherelle, I'm done for now.
Thank you, Mama, for being here. You always pull up when we need you, and I'm so grateful for that. Good
I
morning
would
or good afternoon. Yes, Mishka, go for it.
I would love to introduce our first two main speakers, Carmen and Irina. I Rima, please check your message because I'm seeing Irina as one of amazing speakers, and she should be able to speak. So um, we'll need to sort it out right now because these two ladies are representing one of the most important organizations. Actually, Carmen, she is from Autism Europe Association, that is the leading voice for autistic people's rights in Europe. So I'm so incredibly lucky to be connected to these powerful women because they are making change happen. And trust me, when you're gonna hear them speak, what they share, the reality, what's happening, and how they're supporting autism families in Europe and Ukraine, you're gonna be blown away because this is very important conversation. So Irina is from Children with Future, and she's also autism sibling. So it's very personal for her, the same as it is for me, because I'm also sibling to the most amazing autistic brother. So I would love Carmen and Irina introduce themselves to the audience so everyone knows who they are and why we are doing this together here.
Oh, yes, don't worry about it. I got you. We are going to introduce every single one of them. Carmen, would you like to start?
Sure. Thank you, Mishka. Thank you for contacting us to join this event. It was indeed with short time, but we were very grateful to be able to join you. So yeah, I'm Carmen Clemente. I work at OTC Europe. I'm the communication and campaigns manager. And yeah, I will be happy to share information about what OTC Europe is, what we do basically. And I'm also very happy to be here today with Irina, who is from our member organization, Children with Future, as Mishka said. So yeah, Irina.
All right,
Irina's
Irina.
mic is on the bottom, should be on the bottom, because we invited you to speak. So check on the bottom when you got the chat, you got room, and you got this hand next to it, mic. Let me know if you see it. And if not, then send me a message. We'll invite you again. Yes.
Oh, finally it worked. I had to leave and join the room because it just wasn't working. Good Lord. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Clubhouse, y'all.
Yeah, so my name is Irina. I'm from Ukraine, Kiev specifically. And I have an autistic brother, and I am the director of Foundation Child with Future, which has been helping autistic kids and their families for 12 years now in Ukraine.
That's so
that's in short.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for being here. You and Carmen, nothing would have been possible without you guys. And I can't wait for all of us to learn from you once again. Passing the mic just to introduce everybody in the living room um, to our beautiful Miss Urban. Are you here?
It's hard to hear. She's in.
Trey, are you here? Can you hear us?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
Judith.
Oh, yes.
Hi,
Okay.
darling.
Hi,
Introduce
y'all.
yourself.
I am so grateful, lady, to be here. I am live streaming on all my platforms right now, just so you know. So I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're rolling it, girl, because we're going to get this message out. Y'all, this is Trey coming at you with some Trey Talk. I am an alternative health specialist. I'm an internationally known medicine woman. And what I know is that autistic people are so high functioning, their brains are working so quickly that they are unable to communicate the amazing brilliance that they got going on behind the scenes, and they have such heightened systems that they are so extra sensitive, and so I have such a heart and passion for it, because not only do I have a passion for kids, and I have custody of my 3 grandkids, so I'm doing it again, and I am a sister of my sister didn't have cerebral palsy. She had cerebral palsy, not autism, but I understand what it is to have a sibling that is unique and beautiful and that the world doesn't always understand. So between being an alternative health specialist, I just really have a passion to help and heal the world and just bring together, people and energy and information. So I have the ticker rolling on my thing to donate, and I am here to support you guys. I'm sending so much love. This is Trey signing off with my little native talking mic, giving it back to you, lady. And Mishka, I'm so grateful and honored that you allowed me to share stage with you. So I'm grateful. Blessings, honey.
We are grateful for you, honestly. Like I believe in humanity. We are already 30 people in here, 68 people already passed by. So thank you for everybody for pulling up. Passing the mic to Teresa to introduce herself to the living room. Hi, Teresa. Thank you for pulling up. The last minute, I texted her what it was yesterday, and she jumped in on board straight away. They have been running a summit for the past, I don't know how many days, but Teresa, thank you for being here, and please introduce yourself to the living room.
Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm from Illinois, United States. Excuse me. My oldest son he just turned 27. He has profound autism, and I'm very thankful he's verbal. And I'm glad that you ladies invited me to this event. My hearts go out to the people in Ukraine, and I couldn't imagine what it's like for somebody with autism to be told to pull up stakes, leave your home, and then, the fact that you don't even know if you will have a home to go back to. It's very devastating. I don't deal with change very well, and for somebody with autism, being rigid with change, it could be incredible to deal with these things. I learned that the last 2 years during the pandemic. My son was having big time problems with his day program being closed for 6 months. And so we got through it, but it's just hard for the people, the individuals with autism, as well as the family. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you. And I pass the mic.
Thank you so much. Passing the mic to Belinda that just joined the living room. Same thing, Belinda. Thank you so much for pulling up for us. You always did anyway, but especially for this cause and for Mishka, please introduce yourself to the living room.
Thank you, Lady Hustler. Thank you so much. This is an amazing space. Hi, Mishka. I see a lot of friendly faces on stage. I was recently diagnosed as autistic myself in the journey of trying to help my son, who is autistic. We both are ADHD as well. So it was a lovely surprise, I'll say that. And I'm happy to be here. I love advocating, raising awareness. Teresa had joined me. We've been doing a neurodiversity summit for 5 weeks. Today's the last day. If anyone's interested, we have one final room today, 4:00 Eastern time. You can press my profile and see that. Everyone is welcome. It's a safe space. Replays are on, just so you're aware. But this is amazing. I think it's wonderful to be able to share and spread the love that we have here and share with the autistic community to Ukraine as well. So I definitely will be donating, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you again very much.
I'm the one that should thank you. Brian.
So
Brian
much
is a brother.
reciprocating energy to
He
me.
has been on Clubhouse for this past year. And I'm so glad that he could make it. So Brian, thank you, brother, for being here. And please introduce yourself to the living room.
Hi, ladies. I am Brian Coletto, and I do have autism myself. My challenges include processing information, which may lead to delayed responses, especially to questions that I don't want to answer. And there's also the gray area between right and wrong that is a challenge. There's also needing directions to be more concrete sometimes, as well as nonverbal cues can be a challenge as well. And I didn't even know about this specific room today, but I happened to see it in my feed because I was checking the events thing because my hallway has not been working properly over the last week or so. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here. And my day job is working for a nonprofit occupational training center for all types of neurodiverse individuals, where I've been employed for over 13 years. And this week I finally got my first promotion, going from production aide to production assistant. We're talking manufacturing production. And I do some other work outside of that, which is just unpaid side hustling that I'm not really working with for anybody, but just kind of doing stuff for me that spreads my story to many through my videos that I record and speaking on Clubhouse and on Wisdom and getting my feet wet to podcasting. And I have other interests as well, and I'm here to support not only the Autism Awareness Day, but to also support the room and the war with Ukraine. And yeah, I can't imagine being in that kind of a situation myself. And luckily, I've been able to be grounded because of the virtual world and throughout the pandemic. So yeah, it's just been these last 2 years. It's been so great through taking time, but it's been great to connect with people all over the world. And yeah, so thank you for having me. And my thoughts are complete for now.
Thank you for coming, because I didn't know where to message you. It was so complicated because of your Instagram that got hacked. So I'm so lucky that you got to see this.
Yeah, my Instagram is back. It's been back for almost 2 weeks. It's relinked in my profile. I was able to get that account back. I never made a new one. It's the only one I've had. So it's safe to go on my profile and click the link and follow if you are interested in following my journey on there.
Perfect, Scotty. Now I know. Before passing the mic to Mishka and introducing myself, Sherelle, are you with me? I need to ask you something. I need a lady hustler to back us up for one thing. Can you go very quickly to the room networking one-on-one, networking on the weekend with Zizi Williams? She's expecting a lady hustler to come in and give the link so they can pin it in their room so they can raise funds for us and introduce also what we're doing. Can you jump in that room very quickly for us and back us up?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, and then you can come back, right? Like, don't come back, come back, Sherelle. All right. Um, I'm going to tell Dee that Sherelle is going there to help. So again, welcome to all of you to Two Work for Therapy Club. We have been very lucky to have the key of this club to host this conversation. My name is Zulima, aka Lady Hustler. I own an international female entrepreneur and professional association. Mishka, one of my favorite members, came in with this initiative telling us how she lives 1 hour away from the borders and how all these families are being deported in different countries in the world and they're not having any support. So we contacted Carmen, we contacted Irma, and everybody pulled up in a couple of hours. So we're very, very grateful for that. I'm going to ask everybody, you will see next to the chat button, there's a number 9. Please, guys, I need all my lady hustlers to share the room as much as possible. That will allow this room to be on top of the hallway. And then for you to share the room, you click on the number 9 and you say share on Clubhouse with any sentence you want. And then you do it again and you'll see invite people in and invite anybody that and everybody that can come in and support. The link above is the link straight away to the Dropbox of the incredible European Autism Association. 100% of these funds are going to them to support. So please, there's no, even a $1 is important. Each dollar is important. So until then, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to learn from all of you guys, and I'm passing the mic to Mishka to introduce all the topics, and then we can start by the first topic of the panel. Anybody who wants to join the living room that is part of the panel, you can raise your hand, and we will bring you up to the living room. So anytime you guys are available and you are good to go, just raise your hand next to the mic, and I'll make sure to have you inside this living room. Mishka, take us away, my love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming here. This is the first time I'm actually doing this event, but that is very close to my heart because I'm founder of Happy Autism, and my brother is autistic. He's nonverbal. He's turning 20 this year, and I'm his older sister that loves him so very much, and I'm so grateful because we're gonna have some amazing older sisters also that are making changes happen in this world. Join me in this conversation. We're gonna show you the power of siblings, also in families, and why we're super excited to advocate together. But yes, it's when this situation happened, I was alone with my brother Samko at home in Slovakia, 70 kilometers from Ukraine borders, in the city called Košice, which is in eastern Slovakia. And the thing is that I was alone with him in the evening, and just like this whole day was extremely, I had a panic because I couldn't believe that something like this can happen. And I was processing this for a longer time and I was trying to figure out what we can do. There are so many volunteers in Slovakia and whole Europe, that we are actually just like doing stuff. We're doing stuff. All of my neighbors on this road next to me are actually donated already food. We have volunteers at stations. We're like constantly trying to make it happen, but I didn't know what's happening with autism families. I was constantly thinking, what's happening? How can we support them? How can we do something for autistic individuals? And just like it was just breaking my heart. So when I found Autism Europe, I was just beyond excited. Like I stalked their whole website and spoke to Carmen and their also director Ariel. So I was just excited. Like you have no idea, because it's not always easy to find organization that has their true heart and intentions connected and aligned with the values of families like me. So I was so excited to find Carmen and also connect with Irina, because the work she's doing, she's gonna share with you. We're gonna have conversation right now, and she's gonna share with you things that just shook me. Okay, like it shook me. It was I wasn't ready for this, but then also I wasn't. But we're not gonna traumatize the audience today. We're gonna share the truth, but we're also not gonna share things that will break your hearts too much, because we want to make sure that we protect their mental health, and that was Irina's intention. So I'm gonna pass mic to Carmen and Irina, and I'm gonna introduce them to the stage. And yes, so for everyone that joined, if you could please both of you introduce yourself and what do you do, because I know that there are some new people came. So if you could introduce yourself again and what amazing work you do, that would be so lovely. And then we'll move to the other questions. I'm passing mic to Carmen and then Irina.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mishka. I'm very happy to hear the impact that you got when visiting the Autism Europe website, because at the end of the day, one of our mission is actually to connect people. So the fact that you saw our website and then you saw Audley and me there is the reason why I'm here and why I'm meeting all these amazing people, and that's also the reason why Irina will have the chance to share her experience within this conflict. So I'm very happy that you reach out to us. Well, briefly, I don't want to take much time for that, but briefly for those who doesn't know Autism Europe, we are the international association, the European umbrella of the autistic community in Europe. We have almost 90 member organization across 38 countries, and our aim, as I said, is to connect the different regional national organizations. We raise public awareness through campaigns. For instance, today we had the Autism Day 2022 campaign. If you have had a look on social media, you would have seen a lot of messages and banners and visuals supporting the campaign. That was amazing, and I just found out actually that, for instance, in Spain, the hashtag Autism Day 2022 was had the first position as trending topic. So that's great news. We see that we are kind of achieving our goal of raising awareness of this strongly today. We also have a lot of activities on policy at European level. We have direct links with the European institutions. So I want to avoid all the European bubble wording, which is not only boring, but sometimes not understandable. So basically on policy, what we do is we hear our member organizations, we try to hear their needs, to collect them, to put them together, and basically we bring those needs basically the needs, the things that they need to see happening in their countries. We bring those to the European institutions, to the European Parliament specifically, and we try to change policies. Of course, that's a slow thing. That's why also Autism Europe exists since 40 years ago. Actually, next year will be our 40th birthday, so we will be celebrating that as well. And I don't want to extend myself too much on that because Irina has a lot of information and experiences to bring in. So that was my introduction, and I'm happy to pass the mic to Irina. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, still figuring out the app. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mishka, for organizing this and for inviting me. I'm really floored that other people, other nations are collecting money to help us. So my introduction is I'm currently the director of the Child with Future Foundation in Ukraine. We started our work some 12 years ago when my brother was diagnosed as autistic in Israel, because Ukraine did not have many people who could diagnose autistic kids. Yeah. Since we started that movement, we made the diagnosis more accepted, more available, more widespread, at least for young kids. For the past 12 years, we have campaigned for autistic rights, starting with the right to education equal with everyone else, the right to work, which is something we're still working on, and most of the autistic persons that we work with and their families, it's kids, preteens, and teenagers, because literally the diagnosis was just so rare before we started our war. We were sort of we work with centers all around Ukraine. It's a similar network to what Autism Europe has, where we deal with the international side of things, and we allow everyone to, be local and regional and tell us what they need. So if there is a demand for some sort of help or rights or anything like that, that information gets to us from different regions of Ukraine, and then we campaign for it in Kiev. So we have quite a few projects. We have a preschool in Kiev. We have sports classes for older kids, IT class, and that's in addition to general campaigning, informing people, organizing lectures, etc., etc. So there's quite a few things to do. Obviously, right now, most of that has stopped. So we're trying to collect the money to help the families, because the ones who leave Ukraine organize a Facebook group to share information there for organizations who are willing to help to leave their.
Dang it. Oh, just lost it. Oh, man. That's it. Got to get back. Shoot. Oh, well. Let's try and get this back again.
Thank you very much for sharing all of this. I love the work.
But PT, I'm so happy that we're here together, and I'm actually recording this conversation so we can, then share it with the world, because it's so important what you're sharing with us. And I was not even hoping that we would get actual Ukrainian advocates here, because I knew that, Carmen was telling me that the local situation is unstable, so we can't promise that we're going to connect you with someone that is doing the work. So I'm extremely grateful that you're here. I think we're all blessed to hear what you've got to share, and also Carmen, because this is an international event also, and I'm so grateful that we've got many also Americans and Canadians, and like the whole world, coming together to support you, and the donations are coming in. So I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone that's already donated, even before this even started, because I'm so grateful that you're already doing this, because the children definitely need so much support. And that's why my first question, we're going to start, I'm going to throw questions at you right now, because we need to get deep. So I would love to know, Irina, and also after that, if Carmen could follow up, how's the war affecting the autistic children and the families that in both? So those both that are in Ukraine still there, and those that flee the country, because there are a lot of millions of numbers fleeing the country. So if you could show us what's the reality of this, that would be so wonderful.
Right. So this is a big question. It's actually two questions. So starting with the families who are leaving. Initially, even though we knew that Russians were amassing troops at our border, no one really believed that Russians would invade, because it was so unbelievable. We knew that they would only lose in this situation. They wouldn't earn anything. And so it didn't make sense to us, even though, the embassies were evacuating before the invasion started, and were giving out warnings to their people. I have American friends who lived in Ukraine, and they were getting messages from the American embassy to please leave the country because it's too dangerous. And I helped one of my American friends leave, and after that I told him, I'm really grateful that we managed to get you out before everything started, because the city he was in is one of the cities that are currently under Russian occupation. It's horrifying, but I'll get back to that. So it was an awful shock to everyone, because they started shelling, bombing us early in the morning. My mom burst into my room saying, "Ira, the invasion has started," and I didn't even process it. I was just too much in shock. I just was put out of the room and was like, "Oh, what do we do now?" My brother, who was autistic, mom did the same to him, and he said, "I just started packing." So that was his reaction to that. So all families, both who are standing for leaving, they all have their trauma because there's at least several days before anyone, people really started leaving. I'm in Kiev, and initially we decided to stay because we knew that everyone would panic. There would be huge traffic jams, and roads would be more dangerous than staying in our home. In part because we didn't know where the danger was, and big traffic jams do make for an attractive target, especially for Russians who like to aim at civilians. So there's that. So the families who escaped, first off, there's the trauma and the fear, and everyone initially thought that it would be over in a week. Everyone was very sure of that. So those who stayed, they were like, it will be over soon. And then the air siren started. So air siren goes on. You have to grab your escape backpack, go down to the basement, and hide there until it's safe to come out. We very soon had the apps that would notify us when we need to go and when it is safe to leave. So my family lives in a privately owned house. So we have our own basement. So we were extremely lucky compared to everyone else because a lot of families, they live imagine your typical 9-story building like you see in a Soviet movie, because that's what most of our buildings are, or your typical large building with a car parking lot underneath, and that's where families would have to go. And imagine you live on not on the 5th or even 9th floor, you live on floor number 15 or 20. You don't know if it's safe to take the elevator down, and each minute that you're going down the stairs, you're scared that something might hit your home, and that will be it for you because you simply didn't have the time to get down. A lot of the families didn't have anywhere underground to be safe, so they had to go to a metro station. And Kiev used to have bomb shelters, but a lot of them were repurposed or closed because there was no need for them. I know some that were repurposed into clubs or gyms, stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of families had to spend weeks down there because they had no other options. But that's Kiev. Kiev is it's relatively well protected and safe compared to everywhere else. Smaller towns outside of Kiev, like Irpin and Bucha and Gostomel, they're the ones that got hit the hardest. I have friends in Irpin, and one of them is a mom. She has 2 kids, one of whom is autistic. The other one we think is ADHD, but he doesn't have an official diagnosis. They're really sweet boys. And on the second week, they packed up and left because the fighting was too stressful for the whole family. And half an hour after they left, their neighbor called them and said, God, you left on time because your house was just shelled to pieces. And now they don't have a home to return to. So moving back a little bit, what's it like for autistic kids? So first of all, there is uncertainty. First question I got from my brother and from my other autistic friends around Ukraine is, when is it going to be over? And no one knows the answer to that. And initially there was a lot of uncertainty about what is going on? What is the response? What are we doing? I mean, eventually everyone got used to things. So we got used to the new rules. One of the families I know, they figured out that their adult autistic son sleeps a lot better in the basement because it turns out cold air helps him sleep. So silver lining, I guess, figuring out that your son needs cold air to sleep well through the night. But yeah, families got used to sleeping in the corridors or in the bathrooms as, rooms without any windows, which are moderately safer because if they live on 15th or 20th floor, they simply don't have the time to get all the way down. And in some cases, they might need to walk on the streets before they can get to a safe space underground. Obviously, all of the services were over. Our preschool was shut down because it's just not safe to travel with the kids every morning and evening to pick them up. But instead, our preschool became a shelter because it has a basement and it has facilities to service a lot of people. So now we have some families there, some of our therapists down there, because those guys have nowhere else to go. So it's things like that. And lack of services is really hard. And also, well, you can compare it to COVID starting when everyone had to suddenly go into isolation. And I'm sure everyone went through that. You just add on the fear of being invaded, killed, etc. So, and it's really hard for a lot of families because the parents are very stressed. They need to figure out where to get the fuel, where to get the food, because there were days when we didn't know if Kyiv would have food, because we didn't know if Russia would manage to surround it or if our army would beat them back. Fuel is rationed in Kyiv, so you can only get like 20 liters per time, because also we don't know if, you know, if our supplies will be cut off or not, and military needs it, so it's limited, and they're trying to make sure everyone has just enough. So for a lot of families, they can't really get in a car and drive like they would, like weekly or bi-weekly or, well, every day to get their shopping done. Most families are limited to shops within their walking distance. There were days when there wasn't any bread in the shops, but then supply lines were reestablished, so that was figured out. So a lot of uncertainty and a lot of stress and a lot of fear, trying to figure out what you're going to do. Are you safe enough to stay, or do you have to leave? And on top of that, you have an autistic kid who may not understand everything, who needs extra explanations, who wants to be helpful, but they cannot be helpful in a way that the parents need them to be. So there's a lot of confusion, and the parents often don't have the mental energy to explain as they normally would, and to react calmly as they normally would. So it's really hard and stressful for them, and it's really hard and stressful for kids, especially when a lot of autistic people are very sensitive to other people's emotions. And if they have the thing where they mirror them, that's harder. So it creates an awful feedback loop, which is nearly impossible to break, especially in the cities where they don't have proper internet connection. That makes things even harder, because if you have Facebook or something, then you can reach out and you can receive online help at the very least. But in other spaces, you can barely send out a text message.
Yep.
So that's for the families who sort of stay there. And a lot of families who have left, they still went through it. And there's still a lot for them to, you know, recover from. The whole family is traumatized. So if you're trying to help an autistic kid, you need to help the whole family, because the whole family will need therapy, will need support. And in our culture, a lot of people still think in the lines of, I don't need therapy because I'm not crazy. It's that kind of old-fashioned thinking, and it's not healthy, but it's what we have, and it's what we have to work with. So it's something to understand and think about. Now, the families who left, the road is very hard. There's a lot of blog posts where your car is searched. You have to show your documents. And it took one of my friends 5 days to get to the border from Kyiv. Normally, it's an 8 to 10 hour trip, depending on traffic, and those 2 extra hours are on the way out of Kyiv. just been stuck in a traffic jam on a Friday night, as it goes. So yeah, an 8-hour trip becomes a 5-day trip because of that. Now, imagine being stuck in a car without, you know, many supplies, because you don't know what you can take, what you cannot, and everyone has to pack like a carry-on bag, which they can grab and go in case there's explosions on the way, or if you get targeted. And then there's all the extra bags, which you also worry about, but stuff you know that if something happens, you'll just leave them in the car.
Yeah.
It's just stuff you have to give up. And often there is not a lot of stops that you can make on the way. You don't know where you can stop, where that's not safe to stop. There's been stories that people stopping for the night and their tires being cut. So the journey is really hard and scary. And when they get to the border, they don't know where they will go. Some families have relatives working in, say, Poland or Slovakia or Romania, just across the border. Most of them do not. So I get messaged by families who are trying to move out of the country with their autistic kids, and they ask me things like, where do I go? Which country has support for me? Which country will be able to help my kid? Because he needs like therapists, speech therapists, and a bunch of other services. Where can I go? So international response has been amazing. Poland has really come through. They were one of the first ones to reach out and be like, hey, we're collecting money for you. Here's our website. Here's our phone numbers. We're organizing translators so the family can reach out to us, and we'll make sure their kids are taken care of, that they're taken care of. And in general, there's a lot of volunteers in Poland who are ready to help Ukrainians coming over the border. But still, there's big lines at the border too, and that's a lot of waiting. Still, it's scary and uncertain. And I'm talking about Poland, but really, like, so many countries reached out. I've had messages from everywhere, well, except Belarus and Russia, obviously. But the whole of Europe has reached out to me and was like, hey, like, if you need us, here's our contact numbers. Like, if any of the families you know are moving to our country, give them our numbers, we'll get there. And everyone has been asking, hey, what can we do to help? How can we help the families coming over to us? What do they need? What can we do? So it floored me just how much people were ready to help. And it really means a lot that when someone reaches out to me and asks me, hey, we're in Krakow, we're in Romania, we're in Germany, where do we go?
Wow.
And I can just send them the link and be like, hey, here's your organization. They promise to help. You'll be fine. And it means a lot to them too. So that's for the families who are leaving. For the families who are staying, I have a family I'm really close with in Berlin. A single mother and her son, Oksana and Max. So Max is a bright preteen. He paints space, and his paintings are amazing. Berdyansk is one of the towns. It's by the Azov Sea, and it's pretty close to the regions in the eastern Ukraine that were occupied. So Russians took it, and the connection was really wobbly with Oksana. And on one of the nights, she sent a text message saying that the Russians are in their tanks aimed at my house. I'm not sure if I'll be alive by morning, but if I die, I will fuck Russia. And then she disappeared for a day before she had the connection to get back to me and say, hey, we are alive, and we're going to protest against the Russian occupation. And thankfully, and she's been trying to get out of there, and it's only yesterday that she messaged me saying that she managed to get out to Zaporizhia, that she couldn't take an official, an official ride out, because the Russians do not let them through. They make them stay on one of the Russian block posts for like a full day just to make people suffer, and they don't allow locals to come in and help or even bring water. So she took one of the, it's like a minibus, it's called Marshrutka, one of the minibuses that regularly go between the cities. And, Marshrutka drivers are the craziest. So they had to get through 10 Russian block posts before they got to Ukraine. And she started telling me stories that her son, Max, being the honest autistic kid that he is, he was walking around the backyard wrapped in Ukrainian flag. And she says that God saved them because the neighbors were the first one to see it and told him to hide it, and told her to do something about it because it's not safe. He can be shot for it. And during the protest that they went to, he came up to a Russian soldier and asked, when are you going to die? Because he really, truly hates Russian soldiers. Like, words cannot explain how much he detests them. And he's very direct about it. So literally, Oksana had to fear for his life just because he's direct and autistic, because he doesn't know how to filter, how to hold himself back from expressing his very honest opinions. And also, their house has a nice basement, so their neighbors and their extended family came to them because that was the safest location. And 14 people in a single basement. And there was a 4-year-old kid who was loud. It's a constant, for Max, he was constantly overwhelmed. And, it's constant meltdowns for him, and it's super hard because there is no safe space where he can really relax. And when they had to leave, before getting in the car, she gave him some really strong sleep medicine just to make sure he would sleep through all the Russian blog posts, because she didn't want him to say something because she knew he would. He just says what he thinks, and that's not allowed if you want to survive in that situation. So he slept through all the Russian blog posts and woke up just when they came up to Ukrainian soldiers. And she was just so happy that he slept through the Russian ones, because it's terrifying. And she sewed on a painted white piece of fabric which said, well, in Russian you write it as child with autism, because that's how it goes in Russian. And she said apparently it worked because their backpack wasn't searched. So that's lucky. And yeah, so now she's in a relatively safe space, but I talked to her and she's still in shock, Matt is still in shock, and it's going to take them a long while to get anywhere back to not even normal, but I don't even know what to call it. It takes a lot to process it. And at the moment, I don't even know how to work with that sort of trauma, except for giving the person like the space and the space they need, and things that they like and things that they usually do to relax. So some of the centers which managed to evacuate from the cities, they are asking for money so they can buy printers and at least print out and laptops, I guess, so they can print out some cards so they can have at least like bare bones of working with autistic kids. And that's what it's like for families who stayed and families who left. And also for families who left, they often had to leave without their fathers, because men under 60 years old are not permitted to leave Ukraine right now. Well, at least Ukrainians. If you have a foreign passport, then you can go out, obviously. But because there is war on, families who left, they had to leave their fathers and husbands behind. And for the families who stayed, they have to explain to their kids why daddy is not home and may not be for a while. And yeah, that's that.
I hate to jump in, you guys, but I have to get ready to go. And this is Trey. I love what you're saying. Oh my gosh, I'm just blown away. I am so impacted. It is just, it's just unthinkable to actually imagine having to walk through that or to experience that on any level. It is just mind blowing. So everyone out there, please, you guys, donate. We like the dollars, but we like the dollars with some zeros behind it a little more. You guys, we appreciate whatever your heart has to give. Give from the overflow. Don't take away from what you need for yourself. But please, you guys, whatever you have, $5, or add that lovely zero, 2 zeros, or $10, or whatever it is. This is Trey with that lovely Trey Talk, giving so much gratitude for everyone who's going to continue to hold space in this room. You guys, please share again on Clubhouse, because Clubhouse doesn't have a restriction. And then this brings the momentum. Share on your social media platforms. You guys, ping your friends into the room. Do what you need to do. For those of you on Clubhouse, you guys are on all my lives. I'm getting ready to sign off. But Lady Mishka, I am continuing to ask all of our benevolent assisters, our angels and guides around the world to continue to bless and provide for this cause and for those amazing people and all the support that they need. And I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys, and you guys continue to bless this day with your presence, okay?
Thank you so much for being here. We're going to be here until this is made. So jump in anytime you can. If you want to come back, you're home. And thank you for being here. And I wanted to acknowledge, we have a new brother that came in.
All right, you guys, I can't thank you enough. I know that just looking at my face wasn't as interesting as if you could actually see these people who are talking from around the world. Y'all, these people are in Ukraine. They're experiencing it. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine knowing that my home got blown up. Oh, hours after I had left. So I am just like I gotta go. I'm actually gotta go to the hot springs to release some of this energy because I'm so overstimulated and so filled from the last few weeks. So you guys, I can't thank you enough. Please continue to share this. Send it to anybody you know. Please keep forwarding it. The link is on the bottom. Tick, 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 or tick, 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 rolling across. Okay. Please donate. It goes directly to them, 100% of your donation. I can't thank you enough. And just remember, for all that you give, it comes back to you. It will come back to you. It always comes back to you because it's a promise. God promised He will always give back to you because He has plans to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. So please, you guys, let's give these families hope. It's one of your guys' lattes. Please sacrifice one, what do you call it? Starbucks. One Starbucks, please, and send the money. I can't thank you enough. Love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Until next time. Trey signing off with us. Some swinging Saturday Trey Talk. Yay.